point of view. Okay. So, let me go and take a quick look at the syllabus. So we've done Nietzsche. The Superman is the Übermensch. I remember the quiz question is, what do you think it would be like living as an Übermensch? And strictly speaking, if you believe you get to make up your own values and your own narrative, then you're being, as far as I understand it, an Übermensch. It doesn't mean you have like superpowers, like Superman, or any of those other super characters, the gods, etc. But as an American, you are free to choose your religion. You're free to choose to be a non-religious person. You're free to choose your values that go with that, etc. So next class, Wednesday, I'm going to move on to where I think Hegelianism successfully moved on. Up to this point, the response to Hegel that we've looked at in Europe through existentialism seems to me to be a dismal failure. It leads to a lot of depression. I do have friends who think that existentialism was a absolutely wonderful philosophy because it freed people, to think for themselves and so on. And okay, so that's wonderful. But the thing is, for so many of the people that felt that way, they were also very depressed about it. So it seems to me like it's a failure. The other one was Marxism, and Marxism, we've seen, it's not that Marx criticized communism or even described what communism would be like. He was mostly criticizing capitalism and says you can't keep going this way. Eventually, people are going to revolt, and what are we going to have? Well, we'll have to have no capital, no property. In that sense, I mean, it's not that you wouldn't actually have stuff, although the Soviet Union, which, by the way, is a socialist state, right? When we talk about the difference between communism and socialism, the socialists basically tried to do away with property. You moved into an apartment, it was state-owned, state-built. You wouldn't pass it on to your children. And as a result, psychologically, it's a dismal failure because nobody tries to keep it up, take care of it, etc. It's crappy, etc. So socialism, in that sense, as it approaches a more communist kind of environment, seems to be a dismal failure. The one contrast to that is China has seemed to have been relatively the same for the last 3,000 or 4,000 years. So whatever you might call their government hasn't really changed. One of the authors that says that, by the way, is Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger. Remember, Henry Kissinger was the Secretary of State for Richard Nixon, and he was the one that's famous for opening China up to détente along, basically to kind of put the Soviet Union in its place. So that was.
But it's not a true socialist society, though. It's right, that's well.
Oh yeah, it's if we look at China, it's not truly communist.
Authoritarian.
It's it's kind of like they have a Chinese emperor.
I'd say dictatorship, but it's not because it has a ruling class.
Oh.
So, I mean, they don't do everything for the good of everybody.
Well, when
They
you look,
discriminate against so many people and they treat them as less than. So, what do you call that? It's just gonna be strong. I don't know what you call that, but it ain't socialism.
yeah. Well, the situation we're in, the Trump executive policies seem to be leading us towards an authoritarian, totalitarian
But we're
point of view.
still a republic, as democratic elected leaders.
So there's a button on the bottom right of that. You can feel. Be careful anything you push underneath there. And
I was gonna trace a wire.
it might be somebody had actually used it before.
Well, you were pushing buttons when we first got to class, remember?
Yeah, but the same buttons I always push, not that one. And I was just trying to make this go on. And I did turn on the computer. Computer's below where you're at.
I was just sourcing the wire.
Did you guys have any questions?